Everybody, hope everybody's doing okay this week. Not too much more to cover, really. It's kind of hard to come up with stuff every 3 days a week, but there are some things happening on the MVT and then the MACD. I pointed that out, I think, today or yesterday. So when we look at the MAC or the NVT here, this just points out like when it turns red, we have a very strong move. Okay. So, for example, there's times where it flashes red and it can be like a false signal or whatever, but even whenever it flashes red, it can still be an indication for a future move. So, we can look at multiple indicators here. We can look at all of the weekly stochastic RSI. We've passed through the 30 line, which indicates a bottom typically for Bitcoin. We can look at the hash ribbons where we've had a buy signal. So this is something that's pretty important. So there's indicators that appear before other indicators. So first you had, and it just makes it more confirmation that we're going to have a move to the upside. So to increase the chances of an upward move for Bitcoin increases the more of these confirmations that we have. Okay, so I'm looking at the 3-day right now. Normally I just look at the daily on here, but let's take a look. So after a period of this dark area, we have some sort of consolidation, right? And then we have the NVT actually flashes red. So currently this flashed red during this candle here, what we're looking at. Okay, and it's pretty much, went up quite a bit. Okay, there was a time here where we had a flash, a little bit of a fake signal, and then it turned gray here, and then we had another flash of red, and then we went up 30 or 40% or whatever that is. Okay, now we've had a flash, and then we had a little bit of a pullback. Now it's staying red. Okay, so we can look at that, and then we can look at the MACD to kind of pair this. So it's starting to get rejected again here, or using that as support to continue up, and this closes in 22 hours, this 3-day candle. We can even go back over here. We had a flash of red right there. This one we had, a couple false signals here. And then we had, flash red here. We had a move up. And then this was just a little bit of a fake out. Right here after the bottoming part, we flashed red. And then we had a pretty big move up. We had a little bit of a fake out here. And then we flashed red again here, and we started to kind of move up a little bit, but not much. Okay, and before that, it's not really all that helpful. But I'm just using this to pair it with like the hash ribbon buy signal, so we can even take a look at that. So hash ribbons, let's see what this actually looks like. So we had it turn red, and then we had a buy signal. So that's good. That's where we're at right now. Buy signal, turn red. Okay. We had it red and then a buy signal here. Had it a buy signal and then it turned red. It wasn't red there. Buy signal right here and then it turned red. Buy signal right here and then it turned red a long period afterwards. And then other than that, it doesn't really work. So that's just another thing to really look at. So we'll pull up some other indicators. The NVT has been somewhat helpful to look at. It hasn't been 100%, but it's extra, something extra to look at. So let's look at, I do actually want to take a look at these Bollinger Bands real quick. Let's put the stochastic RSI. Just want to look at this too. Let's hide this for 1 second. We'll hide this. Okay. There's no point to look at that. Bollinger Bands daily, still not really pinching all that much. So this is not going to be all that helpful currently. Nope. And nope. Okay. So Bollinger Bands are out. No point to look at those. So the RSI and then the stochastic RSI. So put this on a 3-day. Okay, so as long as we close green, we're going to cross right here, which indicates a move up. I do expect there to be a move up here. I don't know if we're going to just get bought up to this point and then sell off and then do this whole thing over. We're actually going to bust through this, come back down. We could even bust through and then just go sideways somewhere up here. So there's a lot of things that can happen. And I really have no idea what's going to happen currently. Daily still has room to the upside. We've also got a cross on the daily here. So any big move starts with a cross on the MACD. Sometimes we can have fake outs, but based on everything else, I think this looks pretty good. You know, there is a chance that we can go a little bit lower here over the next couple of days, I guess. I just don't think we're going to break this level, like I've said multiple times before, just because of the hash ribbon buy signals. We've never made a new low without having some kind of move up on the hash ribbon buy signals. So that's what I'm kind of thinking right now. And we're just kind of still just going sideways. So we had some big move ups and then a small move up here, just sell off, and we're just kind of consolidating. So if this is the bottom, you've got your accumulation range. And maybe there's some kind of Wyckoff accumulation range here. And then it just, kind of goes sideways. You have ups and downs, ups and downs. But in the long term, these will look like well, if it'll load, there we go. It'll look something like this range here. Okay, and then similar to this range here. Now, these look like small moves, but they're actually, 40% or so. And then the drops were about 40%. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Those things can happen again. I've shown this before as well. That this green line, let's get rid of this. This green line here has proved to be very, very strong resistance in the past. So we've been, rejected on the bottom. We've been rejected from it. Once we broke above it, tested its support, we broke above the next one, got rejected, came back down, and then once we broke it again for the second time, it just went ballistic, and then we held it as support. So it's just very, very, so like you have a bounce here, you have a bounce here, you have a bounce here, and then you get rejected, 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 strongly rejected, and then we broke it here. And that's kind of what we're coming up to right now. So I've pointed this out before, so if anybody hasn't seen the other videos that I've done here, let's take a look at ADA. So this can happen with new altcoins. All right, so keep this in mind. So let's look back over here. Okay, this same time frame was pretty much right here. Okay, so for example, Bitcoin made its bottom right here at 3,100. Okay, and then if you look on the right, you can see ADA making, it looks like it's bottom there. But if you look a little bit farther, Bitcoin went up quite a bit, ADA went up quite a bit, And then once we had this COVID crash, a lot of the altcoins actually made new lows. Okay, Bitcoin did not make a new low; it held support right here. This just pretty much fell into oblivion. It looked like it was going to zero, right? And everybody thought it was going to zero. A lot of people probably just sold because they were scared of what was going on. COVID was happening. It was frightening, right? So that can happen again. So as long as if Bitcoin's bottoming here, if this was literally the bottom on Bitcoin, I wouldn't expect ADA to do what it did in the last cycle just because Ethereum did not do this. Okay, so I think if it was to go up, it would probably come back down and then retest this level of support. If that was to even happen, this could come up, consolidate, and then just continue up. So, like for example, let's look at ETH. So ETH, and I'll show you what happened to ETH. And the newer coins probably make a new low, I would assume. Okay, so Ethereum. Let's go back over here. So Bitcoin bottomed here. Everything went up, and then Ethereum did not make a new low, and Bitcoin did not make a new low. So that was its second cycle. So ADA was in its first cycle. So I'd expect something similar to happen with ADA on this next move. That it gets really close to the bottom again, has some scary move down, and then does not make a new low. But it still could. So if it did, I'd be adding more ADA. So I don't think ADA is going away. I think it's just going to be very similar to what ETH did in this next run, making a new all-time high. And yeah, so I just want to point that out. Okay. Let's look at XRP real quick. XRP moved like 10% today, which is great to see. Probably going to pass through the zero line here on the 3-day tomorrow. And then maybe the daily will cross here. A lot of the times you see these kind of exciting move ups. They just get rejected here and they actually start to come back down. That's a very common thing that I've seen, that it'll pull back and then it'll stop right here to let people get out again, and then before it actually falls down. However, it is passing through the zero line and everything like that. It's not, this isn't something that I'm trading or anything like that. I've had XRP for a long time. I'm just really waiting for this to actually go parabolic again, and then potentially breaking this old time high. So that's what I'm waiting for on XRP. I really just plan to hold everything until the next cycle top. There might be some times where we can take some profits and then get back in something. But that's kind of a lot of work for me. So, and then missing a bigger move would really suck as well. Good thing here is that you're seeing this declining volume, and now you're starting to see the increasing volume, which is really good. You kind of started to see that right here, so that actually would have been a decent entry for XRP. I think XLM kind of moved with it a little bit too. Let's actually look at XLM USD pair, and then we'll look at XLM's a little bit behind XRP here. Still kind of just looks like consolidation currently. Nothing really all that exciting on XLM. Getting very, very close to this. So mid next month, we're going to either break down or we're going to bust through. And if Bitcoin's going up, I would expect everything to kind of run together. So let's look at the XLM BTC pair. Still kind of looks like it might play out that inverse head and shoulders here. So maybe testing the neckline. Let's see that. Yeah. Yeah. Now here's kind of a good example. So when this passes through the zero line, it's typically a good indication for a good move. So if you look here, if you would have just bought right there, you would have had to wait for a little bit of a pullback, but you could have taken some profits at that point or been up on your trade. All right, guys, that's really all I've got for today. That was more than I thought I had. So hopefully the next, we'll have something going on here pretty soon. NVT's red, hash ribbon's still blue, so that's good. And then the 3-day MAC or the 1-day MACD is crossed. So let's see if we can actually do something instead of just selling off like we have been. All right, guys, I will talk to you all on Sunday.